Hey church family, in Psalm 46 the psalmist writes, "Be still and know that I am God." We live in a world filled with noise. Have you noticed that? Everywhere we turn it's increasingly difficult to find places of silence. Television, smartphones, laptops, tablets, Alexa, Siri, okay Google. It's almost as if we're addicted to noise and afraid of the silence. I've begun doing some thinking about this lately. Why is it that we fill our lives with noise? Why is it that we don't like silence? And more importantly, is there a connection between a lack of hearing God's voice and the lack of silence in our lives? For some of us, noise has become our drug of choice. We self-medicate ourselves with noise because we want to avoid silence. Silence has a way of forcing ourselves to take a good long look into the mirror of our soul. And for some of us, this is just too painful, just too raw for us to face. So we surround ourselves with noise, thinking the longer we can drown out the voices, perhaps they might go away. But they seldom do. The scriptures are filled with stories of people who heard from God. They connected with God in ways that were life-changing, and pretty much every one of those was in a moment of silence or solitude. God rarely speaks in the storm. One passage reminds us that he more often speaks in the gentle whisper. Silence and solitude were regular rhythms Jesus had as a part of his life. They were not simply luxuries that Jesus enjoyed, they were central rhythms of his life. In times of sorrow, in times of busyness, in times of stress, in times of reflection, Jesus often found the time to get alone. He would seek out places of silence and solitude. This wasn't just Jesus' way of taking a break. He was demonstrating something deeper. He was modeling for us the reality that you and I were created with a need for silence and solitude. Jesus knows this. This is why he extends the invitation. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. He's inviting us to come to him and accept his rhythm, and in that rhythm to find rest for our weary souls. The question we need to wrestle with is, can I really experience the kind of rest he offers if I do not find places of silence and solitude? Maybe for most of us involved in the noisy day-to-day busyness of life, it's time to stop and listen. Time to be still and know that he is God.